What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome as well. Today I have the long-awaited re-rank of all the Arkham games. And this time I'm including all the games. Well, which one's my favorite? Which one do I least like? Which one's in the middle? Which one's the runner-up? Well, that's all coming right up next. Okay, so obviously this is the ranking of all the Arkham games. I am including both VR games, the DS game, the 5 major games, yeah, and that's about it. Obviously no spin-off games like, when I say spin-off, I don't mean like the Arkham City Lockdown. That was just based around Arkham City, and I'm not including the Arkham Origins mobile version of the game either. But obviously, Arkham Blackgate's on here, all the way down to Arkham VR, all the way to Suicide Squad, and the 4 major console Batman games. So I'm not going to waste any more of your time, so let's go ahead and get right on into the ranking. Now, before we do, I just want to add that this is my own personal opinion. If you've seen my other video, I promise you this is a way different video. My ranking from back in, I don't even remember how long ago it was, like a couple of years, has changed significantly. So please, bear with me, watch it. This is going to be a great video. I hope you all enjoy. And also, let me know down in the comments down below what your ranking is. Do you agree with mine? Do you disagree with mine? Let's get right into the ranking and we'll find out. Anyway, at number 8, here we have... That's right, coming in at number 8, we have Arkham VR. There's not really too much I can say with this, except that it's all a dream. It is technically a prequel to Arkham Knight, like the night or a couple nights before. Obviously, I don't have gameplay, so because I've never played it. I have watched it. It's very boring as far as the original VR games would do, or how they played anyway, how the original VR was. Yeah, it was a dream about Batman becoming Joker, which turned out to be a reality for Arkham Knight. In Arkham Knight, you had to somehow stop from becoming the Joker. But anyway, that's all I can really say about Arkham VR. This game is like 45 minutes to an hour long at most. And like I said, I didn't play it, never have. I've only watched it, don't even own the game. So not really much I can say here. So let's go ahead and move on to number 7. That's right. Coming in at number 7, I have Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And I bet you guys that watched my original video have even been here for the live streams and all those videos where me praising this game. You guys must be shocked that I put this game at number 7. Because the last time I did this, I put this game at number 2. So what in the world happened? Well, guys, I'm not going to lie. The game went way downhill even for me. And I understand this game has its problems. I've always acknowledged that. But I still believe this game isn't as bad as what people think. Like, people are really hating on this game and hating on Rocksteady too, which I want to clarify something real quick. It's not all on Rocksteady. I blame some I split it up to who I think is, well, the responsible for this piece of garbage that we got. Yes, Rocksteady is at fault, don't get me wrong, But WB, I blame them in a little ways, but mainly I put the blame on the co-founders of Rocksteady that jumped ship right before this game came out. Because if you guys really think about it, this game, it was under their management. They were the ones controlling everything, and then them to make all the decisions and then all of a sudden jump ship, come on. Don't defend them. You know that they have something to do with it. And I also blame Sweet Baby. Sweet Baby, you're a piece of shit. Stay the F out of video games. Now, with all that being said, why is this at number 7? Well, I'm not going to lie. The lacking of content, that especially in episode 7, we got screwed out of a boss fight. There was 2 Brainiacs that were killed off screen. Now, that part was made up in episode 8 when we got to kill 3 Brainiacs in one boss fight. I really did enjoy that. The story, I still think, isn't as bad as what people say. Yes, it has its problems too. It does go downhill. Like, the museum part was really good, but then the way that Batman was killed, yes, I get that. I understand you don't like that. But now that we have the full game, all the DLC, the whole story out, it did technically end. I do think that the ending was at least good enough for me. Sure, there are a couple of questions out there, like how did Batman know that this is what the squad was going to do, and if he did know, did he know about Wonder Woman being actually dead and not coming back? And if so, did she know and did she sign up for it? Like, there are still lots of questions. Don't get me wrong. That's why this is in number 7. I still think this is a great game. It's like I said, I actually like pretty much all these games. I think the only one I don't really like is my 8th spot, which, as you all know by now, it's Arkham VR. That one I despise. That one's definitely a waste of time. All the others aren't really a waste of time, but this one is just, it's very, I don't think it's as bad, but that's just my opinion. But at the same time, with what happened, this is why I put it in number 7. If you guys want to know a little more, I did release a final review, so I'll link that at the very end of this video. If you guys want to go, if you care to go see my opinions on the full game of Suicide Squad. But anyway, that was my number 7. Let's move on to number 6. And coming in at number 6, we have Arkham Blackgate, or the 3DS game that is technically a sequel to Arkham Origins. It is the introduction to Catwoman into the Arkhamverse. A lot of people actually hate on this game as well. And I just recently finished playing it for this video, actually. Now, obviously, once again, I couldn't get gameplay of that, but I do have it, and I've played it at least 4 times by now. It's actually my favorite DS game. So for you 3DS game, if you guys have a 3DS and you don't have it, I highly encourage you to at least give it a try, especially if you're a fan of the Arkhamverse. This game is actually really good for being a DS game. Does it have its problems with continuity? Sure, absolutely. I am willing to admit that, especially with Arkham Origins and technically Shadows now. I do think this game has its problems, but it is a really good game in my opinion. I think from number 7 on, those are like games that I love to play. It's just very hard for me to rank where they're going to go. But I think this is a good spot for a DS version anyway. I was actually really close to putting Suicide Squad above this, but at the end of the day, I just enjoy Batman a lot more. So that's why I put this one above Suicide Squad. The combat is as good as you can get it on a handheld, aka a 3DS system. Let's see, the story, it's really good, especially that it takes place like a few days after the DLC for Origins, so the Cold Heart, because Cold Heart takes place during New Year's, and obviously the main game is through Christmas. So it was sometime early January that this game takes place. But anyway, it's a great game. It's all about the Blackgate prison. 3 criminals or villains take over the madhouse. One area was Joker's area, one area was Black Mask, and another one was Penguin. You had to stop all 3 of them while also trying to get to the Arkham Ward, or the special cell in Blackgates, to save some hostages while also working with Catwoman. But it turns out Catwoman, and I guess this is kind of a spoiler territory here, Catwoman actually uses you to get to the Arkham World or Ward because somebody, I'm not going to spoil the whole thing, somebody hired her to get Bane out of Blackgate, and that was Bane's cell, is the Arkham Ward. So, or the Arkham Wing, I'm sorry, that's what it's called, the Arkham Wing. That was his cell, basically. So, with all that being said, I just enjoyed this game. Obviously, I just think there are better ones. But yeah, that's my number 6. Let's move on to number 5. And coming in at number 5, that's right, I have Batman Arkham City. Now, if you guys seen my previous ranking from back in the day, I ranked Arkham City pretty low compared to, all the other games, and this one technically jumped down. Well, I'm not going to lie, guys. Arkham City, to me, is extremely overrated. The only thing it has going for it is the boss battles, in my opinion. The side missions are, lacking. At least a few of them are. I did enjoy a few of the other side missions, like Riddler. There was way too much Riddler, I'm not going to lie. Catwoman was fun to play as, but her challenge maps were a little hard. And let's just talk about the whole challenge mode right here, right now. That is the most hardest challenge is to do in all of the series. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, this game's massively overrated. I actually had a interesting conversation with one of my subscribers and a buddy of mine. He was always asking me, Crimson, why do you put Arkham City very low? What's wrong with it? And after we got into a discussion, I started talking about the boss battles, and he made a good point that each boss battle, like, they're fun and they are unique, which yes, they are. But if you really think about it, the boss battles, and this is what I told them, they're really kind of a copy and paste to each other, just using a different gadget, with the only exception being Mr. Freeze, and that's why it's the best boss battle in this game, in my opinion. And in Arkham City, you fight Freeze, and you have to use one gadget or one technique one time and one time only, and you have to think about what you got to do next, because Mr. Freeze learns from his mistakes. But all the other boss battles, I mean, let's think about it. We have a couple Titans that is a little different, but the same thing in the whole game. You have Solomon Grundy, that's you literally just have to use the explosive gel. That's literally it. Yes, you get to punch him, but you get to punch Ra's al Ghul, and guess what? You have to use the remote electrical charge for that. You have Clayface with the freeze blast. I mean, come on now. Yes, they are fun, don't get me wrong, but this game is set on a pedestal when in my book, it shouldn't be held so high. I hear all the time how games are getting referenced and compared to this game, when you have better games like Arkham Origins, Arkham Knight, even Arkham Asylum in a way. The Joker dies at the end of this story. Spoiler alert, I know, but to be fair, it's been over 10 years, so if you didn't know, that's on you at this point. But Joker's obviously one of the best villains, if not my favorite villain, and I just didn't like that, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, it was bold and it was great, but then they brought him back for Arkham Knight, and it's like, well, that technically just makes Arkham City worse, at least in my opinion. Like, you had the balls to take him out, now keep them away. But what do? You still bring them back, you know? Like, I get it. It started out to be good, and I guess that's a nitpick with Arkham Knight, but at the same time, Arkham City did something different, and then they didn't follow through with it, basically. Even though technically he is a ghost, but whatever. I'll get more into that in the Arkham Knight part. But Arkham City, the boss battles, yes, are fun and unique in a way, but you have to use gadgets, which, once again, not necessarily a bad thing. It's just the same kind of way of defeating the boss, at least to me anyway. Not saying that it's not fun, it's just I prefer more of Mr. Freeze's boss battles, but only with different characters. Not gonna lie, even Two-Face and Harley Quinn in her DLC. Those two are the exact same thing, but only in Predator, and the guards keep coming in and with different characters. You know, Robin goes against Harley Quinn and Catwoman against Two-Face. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about Arkham City. Yes, it's a great game, don't get me wrong, but extremely overrated, and the boss fights are, while they are unique in a way, they're also a copy and paste, just in different ways. But yeah, that's my number 5. Let's move on to number 4. And coming in at number 4, as you guys saw, it is Batman Arkham Shadows, the MetaQuest 3 exclusive game that I was not for at the very beginning. Well, if y'all know, I originally had this one ranked at number 7. Now, backstory a little bit, because I know some of you don't know. When I was... After my original ranking, I had to throw in like the spin-offs and the VR games into there because people have asked me, and I would do it in my live streams, and I put Arkham Shadows at number 7. That was before I played it. Yes, I got a MetaQuest 3. I played it, and well, my thoughts and opinions have changed. Do I still like that it was exclusive? Hell no, but I will have to say Arkham Shadows is very fun. I've already beaten it 2 times. On my 3rd playthrough now, I've collected all the collectibles both times. And let me just tell you something. This game, for a VR game, oh my goodness, is so fun. So fun. So, yeah. If you want to know a little more, I will... have it linked once again with my Arkham Shadows review. So I will have that linked at the very end, because by the time you're watching this video, I would have both Arkham Shadows and my Suicide Squad full game re-rank, and the last ranking for Suicide Squad as well. So I would have them both linked at the end, so go make sure you go watch it. But why is Arkham Shadows ultimately in number 4? Arkham Shadows is number 4 because you are freaking Batman. Like, Batman is so... it's just so fun. They're even continuing to update the game. Like, it's just so fun. I was completely wrong, and I'm a man enough to say that I was wrong about this game. Do I still prefer if it was on consoles, or if there was at least a version on consoles? Absolutely. I mean, look what Arkham Origins did. Came out on console, but then they also brought out Blockade for the 3DS. But it was also to continue Arkham Origins. So, you know, and speaking of continuing, Shadows is a sequel to both Origins and Blackgates. It takes place a few months after Blackgates, because it takes place in July. So it was the introduction to, spoiler alert, Two-Face's role and how he became Two-Face anyway. I still don't like the whole Rat King persona being Two-Face. I thought that was, kind of stupid. There are some continuity errors once again, and here's the thing, guys. A lot of people are like, well, they didn't know in the games that came technically after, chronologically, we didn't know that we were going to get this stuff. That is true. I get that. But at the same time, when you do prequels, you have have to look at the original stuff. If you want it to be in the same story as Arkham, like Arkham City and Arkham Knight, you have to look at those games, see what happened, and understand what happened to make a prequel. You don't just do whatever the hell you want. And that's a big point with Arkham Origins as well. You have to do what the story is about later, if that makes sense. And I'll talk about more about that in the Origins part. But yeah, this was very fun. I love the game. I wish I could get gameplay, which technically I could, but you guys wouldn't hear any of the audio, and I wanted you guys to hear the game in this portion anyway, and that right now that's just not possible. I might be able to stream it one day, but for right now, I have to do it this way. But anyway, let's move on to number 3. And that's right. Coming in at number 3, we have Arkham Asylum. So, if you guys saw my original ranking, I put Arkham Asylum at the dead last at number 5, because remember, I only did the 5 major games back in the original ranking. Why did this game come up? Well, I recently played it again, and I can't lie to you guys. I can't hold this game back just because of its limited, combat or even gameplay. The story itself, it's so good. This game started the whole franchise, and at first it was rumored that this game was not supposed to be in a series. It was its own thing. But obviously, as we all know, with the hidden Arkham City room in the mansion, yes, that obviously was not true. But this game is just so fun. The fact that I started speedrunning this game, especially, this game just, it's very fun to me. I like that it's a shorter game. I like that it's the starting point. I have to, to me, I look at this game and it's like, dude, this game deserves more praise than what it gets. Sure, it has its issues, don't get me wrong. Yes, the thugs all look the same. You have the generic white thug with horns or non-horns. You have shirtless white guy. Then you have black versions of that. Not trying to be racist, but, it's the truth. Then you have the knife guys that are they all look the same. Maybe some have Joker makeup or clown makeup, but that's about it. It's that's it. But once again, I don't look at that stuff. I look at the game itself. I look at video games as a whole. Do I have fun with it? I have to ask you guys, what do you buy video games for? And let me know in the comment section down below. Do you guys buy video games because you play video games? Do you buy video games for the stories? Or do you buy them for both? Because let me ask you something. For a video game, if you're not having fun playing them, what do you guys do? Well, if you say that you're going to continue playing it, I would ask you to look in the mirror and actually see if you're telling the truth. I'm going to ask yourself, look in the mirror, and are you telling the truth? Because let me tell you something. When it comes down to it, I don't care how good or bad the story is. If you're not having fun playing it, you're not going to play it. I highly doubt that you're one of them. But my point is, I have fun playing this game, and I think it's a lot more fun than all of the other games that came before. True, there might be, arguably there might be a better story to some games, but this is my ranking, number 1. Number 2, I am going to have to disagree. This game is just so fun. This story is really good. Does it have its problems? Yes. Like Joker Titan? Yes, I understand that. But, yeah, this game is just super fun. Super, super fun. In fact, one day I will be doing a 100% speed run for this game. But, yeah, that's why it's number 3. Let's move on to number 2. And coming in at number 2, we have Arkham Origins. Now, in my original ranking, this one was number 3. Well, why did it go up? Well, one, Suicide Squad went down, so that obviously brought up Arkham Origins, or the number 3 spot. But why do I think this game is a lot better than what I used to think? Well, this is a great Christmas game. It is a great game, very fun, yet again. And now that I'm able to stream it and make content around it, I am very happy to announce that Arkham Origins is my new number 2 spot. I will be playing it every year around Christmas on the channel in different ways, yes, of course, but it's going to be fun. Highly encourage you guys to be there. But why is it number 2? To me, Arkham Origins was extremely underrated to me. And when it first came out, yes, I had its problems. I was agreeing with most of the people that this was definitely the one that was worse compared to Arkham Asylum, City, and Night when that came out. But over the years, I just grew to love this game more and more. Now, does it have its continuity issues? Abso-freaking-lutely. For once again, if you guys have seen my original video, there's some things I gotta clear up. Number 1, I mentioned that Bane was not canon to the Arkham Bane. Origins Bane and Arkham Bane were 2 different people. I have to correct myself on that. What I meant by that was obviously that they're not the same person, because they technically are. But in the Arkham Asylum, it is stated, in fact, right after you defeat Bane, that Bane broke the bats. All right? And typically, the very first meeting between Batman and Bane is him breaking the bats, And a lot of people wanted to argue with me in my original video that he broke him mentally, which, did he really? Let's think about it for a second. Their argument was that, he killed Alfred. But guess who brought Alfred back by shocking him with the shock gloves? Bruce/Batman? Oh, wait, did he really? Let me think about that for a second. So he brought him back. I will agree, did it scare Batman or Bruce? Yes, absolutely. It scared him to death that he almost lost his butler. Absolutely, he almost lost a friend. But was he broken mentally? I don't think he necessarily was. Maybe for a split second, but something to remember by? No. So that's my one issue with that. Now granted, I am getting my information from sources that have tried to put together all of the Arkham games, keep up with the story, but that's what a lot of people think anyway, that Bane is technically at retcons in Origins, but I'm going to be honest, I don't know the full story of that situation. Now, one thing I can fight on is the fact that the way Joker and Harley Quinn met at Blackgate's, that was not at Blackgate. That was at Arkham Asylum. That was their first meeting. And Arkham Asylum's interview tapes prove that. So, you cannot deny that one. So yeah, that's retconned in Origins. And it's like I said with the Blackgates and Shadows part. When you're doing prequels to a good story, or just any story, not necessarily good, but if you're doing prequels, you have to look at what the original games did and be like, okay, so this game had where Harley and Joker met at Arkham Asylum. Okay, so that means if we're doing a prequel, and this was before the whole Asylum bit, in fact, Arkham Asylum is not even in the game at all, then we can't really have Harley Quinn and Joker meet in this game. We can have them both in the game, but they can't meet yet. See, that's the stuff I'm talking about, but they didn't. Obviously, Deadshot stuff isn't canon. They first met in Arkham City, and a lot of people were like, well, was it confirmed that it was met? Absolutely. You can tell by the way Alfred said, and I quote, "So it's the world's greatest detective versus the world's deadliest assassin. Who is going to win?" if Alfred would remember Batman going against Deadshot, he would have remembered that it was Batman that's going to win. So, I mean, a lot of people like to argue that, well, that doesn't necessarily confirm. I mean, but once again, when you're doing a prequel, you have to look at what the later games did, or to the later story anyway. Another thing that Origins has is the grapnel accelerator. And let's be honest, that was introduced in Arkham City, but yet that's in the game. Now, I did hear that when some people asked WB about this game and, about the continuity errors, their answer was, oh, we didn't care. We just wanted to make a good Batman game. And you know what? With all the problems that Origin has, I will agree. Batman Arkham Origins is a great Batman game. It is super fun, laid back. Well, not really laid back, but it's just a fun game. But yeah, that's why it's in number 2. If you've been paying attention, I think you know what's coming in at number 1. But let's go ahead and talk about it. Here's my number 1 pick. And coming in at number 1, we have Batman Arkham Knight. Now, I know a lot of people think that this game does not deserve to be the top spot, but you know what? I think it does. This game has everything you can ask for. People wanted the Batmobile, you got the freaking Batmobile. But then what do people do? You want to complain that it's overused. Why are you going to complain about something when you asked for it? You guys as the community, or I'll say it, us as a community. We wanted the freaking Batmobile. We got the freaking Batmobile. So why are you complaining about it? Stop complaining that it was overused. I don't care. We got the Batmobile. And you know what? Somebody calculated. You don't even spend 20% of the game in the Batmobile. It's not a big deal. I promise you. But I had to get that off my chest. Don't be mad, guys. But this game, just besides the Batmobile, I love the story. Scarecrow, Jason Todd, a.k.a. Arkham Knight, even Joker. We had side missions like Man-Bat, Penguin, Riddler, Two-Face. We had Mr. Freeze that came in DLC. Ra's al Ghul came back. We had Killer Croc, Mad Hatter. We got some other villains like Deacon Blackfire, Hush as an ending, even though that I will agree that story was ruined. They had a great setup in Arkham City and a letdown in Arkham Knight. But ultimately, Arkham Knight, besides that, it was super fun. You got to fight Deathstroke. You had tank battles, which, yes, was overused, but at the same time, I didn't care. I enjoyed them. You had different Batmobiles, so many skins. In fact, I think I'm also going to start to where I'm going to play this game every Halloween from now on. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say about this. Arkham Knight is just a super fun game. It got Gotham City, a big, giant Gotham City. You got a cool-ass bat suit, new villains, older villains. You had a lot of playable characters that you could play as. You had the whole Bat family, like Red Hood, Nightwing, Robin, Batgirl, Batman himself. You had who else did you have? Oh, you had Azrael. You had Harley Quinn as a playable character. So yeah, you even got to play as Joker at one point. You played as Commissioner Gordon at one point as well. So yeah, just overall a great game. I loved the graphics. I loved the game. Loved the gameplay. It took Origins and Cities and just amplified it even more. It was, oh man, I could talk about this game all day, but I obviously don't want to do that to you guys. I do want to keep it short as possible anyway. But yeah, that's my ranking there. So just to recap, number 8 is Arkham VR. Number 7 is Suicide Squad. If you want to know why I feel the way about Suicide Squad, watch my review. I'll have it linked at the very end. 6 was Arkham Blackgate. 5 was Arkham City. 4 was Arkham Shadows, which if you want to see my first review of that, go watch it. I will link that at the very end as well. Number 3 was Arkham Asylum, number 2 was Arkham Origins, and number 1 was Arkham Knight. So yes, that is the end of this video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with me? Did I make some good points? Do you disagree? What is your ranking? Did you enjoy the video? Let me know if you did. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Peace.
If only I could turn back time.